Test, test. Okay, that should be good. Cool. Then I shall get started. Okay, so right off the bat, don't jump shot if you don't know where the other widow is. Assume that there's always going to be another widow if you don't know that there isn't another widow. Don't jump shot if you don't know where she is. The whole dynamic with widow battles is it's an information battle. It's not a mechanics battle. People like to think that it's a mechanics battle. It's information. The whole thing is, the higher up you go, the more you have to assume that a widow will hit the very first shot that she has. Yeah, so assume that they're on widow until you know explicitly that they're not on widow. Because like if you don't have that information, like I would rather have you just kind of creep over here, scout things out, look at it, go from an unexpected angle, or even just go through main, and then or even just stand still until you can tab. Because like if you don't have that information advantage, it's suicidal on widow. You need the information. If you don't have information, don't do anything. Yeah, it's like this is a thing that that Rex does a lot, is like he takes a lot of like ego duels on widow, where it's like, okay, you can pit your mechanics, but you don't really want that. What you want to do is you want to be smarter. Play smarter, take the smarter angles, play unexpected. Let me know if my voice and music, audio, and stuff are all balanced to a good degree. See, like that was a shot that you could have hit. I'm not saying that you needed to hit that, but my point is like she was reckless there. She didn't know where you were. You knew where, you could see where she was, and like that's why the jump shots are dangerous, because you had a shot opportunity. It's not like really a necessity. I wouldn't expect people to hit those shots until like Masters or GM. Conservative angle. I don't mind it. Your team isn't doing too much there. I don't mind that because you're carefully lined up to be in a place where you know, like you know where their widow is now, that she's like approximately over here. You know that she's behind the sign or like not on an angle. So this isn't as bad. So you have to be thinking about what angles you want and like who's your targets, who's your value, because you're playing a spam and brawl hybrid. So note that you're on the double spam DPS, so you guys are going to have to take really aggressive angles versus their Rhine and Sigma in order to get value, because you're not going to be able to shoot through the shields very easily. So like you play that smart. Yeah, don't. Okay. I don't love peeking that because the McCree could have just been waiting around, but it's fine. Nice shot. This is a fine angle, but I'd rather, now that the shield is up, you could probably grapple over to here on the mini and you'd have another angle. Because your Hanzo is on this angle, which is really smart. This is a really good angle that you could have taken, but the Hanzo took it, so that's fine. Like your key trifecta are here, here, and here. Like these are your three angles that you'll get. And like from here you also have access to here. Because if you look at the map, you have the left side angles, you have main, and then you have the right side angles. So like right now, you're kind of just in main. And really on DPS, you almost always want to be playing slightly towards the side angles. Because like say you're not getting that many shot opportunities here with the Sigma and the Rhine. Sorry about my birds. Be careful about taking those same angles, because the more repetitive, of course, you are with the angle, the more expected, the more they'll expect you. So I noticed that you're not using your Venom Mine. Versus their comp, it's relatively low value because they don't have any flankers. But like the reason Venom Mine is actually a really powerful ability is because it allows you to have attention somewhere without actually paying attention to there. So like if you just slap it down, like if you even just slapped it down, I don't know, like on cart for all I care, or even like just in here, or like chuck it on the stairs here, like somewhere, doesn't matter where, but somewhere, it's pretty useful. Like I said, like it's mostly about flankers, but just anywhere is pretty useful. So this is, so you pin onto the Widow, which is great, but you have to be, I just want this as a reminder, always be thinking about how wide your angle is as Widow. Because like the wider your angle, the more you see and the more enemies you can shoot, but then also the more exposed you are to enemy angles, and it's like you don't know if the Widow would be here, if she would be here, if she would be here. Like you're exposed to all of these, and you can't feasibly react to all of them at the same time. She just happens to be in the middle one that's pretty close to where you're shooting. So make sure that you're like taking, like the problem with narrow angles, of course, is that you're not going to be able to shoot much. So it's about taking the high value narrow angles because they're safe and they're also shooting the relevant parts on the map. So you could be here and you'd have been able to take that same shot on the Mercy and threaten the enemy team in the same way, while also being able to control this angle on the Widow. Like always be thinking about this, man. And it's okay to take the open angle when they have no dive threats, but then, or like a range threats, but as soon as you know that their Widow is going to be respawning or repositioning, or like as soon as your Hanzo dies, you need to be taking the narrow angles and watching for that again. Like always see, because like that, you could have lived it if you had just ducked into here earlier, and then been shooting from safety. It's like always be thinking about how wide your angles are, and do not take wide angles when there is any threat on you, man. Because like let's look at what could have happened if you had taken the wide angle. It's like right here, she's not in position to shoot yet. You're moving towards the doorway. Hanzo is on a wide angle with exposed, and then dead. So like the thing is like there's always the thoughts on like, okay, how much should I respect the enemy DPS? And I would say respect them as much as if they were a GM player until they've proven otherwise that they are not a GM player. Because like yeah, you won like I think one duel with her so far, and then but she also got a good shot at the start. Like a lot of people will say, oh yeah, push until you see something that you need to respect, but that's not like how you improve. How you like maximizing performance is you don't respect anyone until they deserve respect. But to play for your own improvement, you have to respect everyone until you see that they don't deserve it. It's like I will be playing pretty safe on Ryan generally until I see that their Ryan is like specifically a bot, and then I'll start going in really aggro. Fortunately, it looks like your team still might win this fight. We'll have to see though. Yep, maybe not with that res actually. It's like I'd love to see the bottom angle here, because like this bottom angle, I guess your Hanzo's going here, so it would have been shared, but like this is like a really nice spot that closes, like it's a narrow angle. So like always be thinking about how narrow you can make it, because like if you look at like Ansa's play, he takes such narrow angles. Like they're so smart. You're in the open, wide angle, man. You don't know where their Widow is. That was a really good pick on the Mercy though.
No one can hide.
I like this. Like this is why her ult is actually really useful. It's an informational, which plays perfectly to Widow's thing. Okay, she's dead. Then I don't mind the wide angle then. Okay. You could actually be a lot more aggressive with it. Okay, yeah, which you are. That's good. You didn't really necessarily have to give that up because you still had Infrasight, and while she did too, you have the positional advantage. So that was like an even-ish duel that you maybe could have taken. I think it's not a bad idea, of course, that you dropped back, because of course that's the safe and never wrong play. So that's a good choice. Good picks on the Sigma. So like here's where you kind of like you're in main and it's just kind of low value. Now you're on an off angle because you're on the top and you're a little bit to the right, and that's, see, now you get the value. So like always be looking for even those just slight angles. I hope you go far. Dangerous, man. I don't mind dueling this now that you know where she is and she knows where you are. Like that was a good choice, because like the thing is with Widow is once it's an even situation, if you both know where each other are, you can choose if you feel it's worth the value to continue the duel or not. But like if you don't know where the Widow is, that's when you have to be playing safe. Yeah, like I don't know all the Widow micro. I think the peeker is usually the one who loses and stuff. So it might be smarter just back up or reposition. I would be lying if I said I was a professional Widow player. I just know a lot about her macro and a bit about her micro. This is an angle that I like a lot. See, like it's a really aggressive angle, and that's perfect because your team has the space. You could actually even make it, like while you have some cover right now, you know their Widow is dead. You could even make it even wider and go to like here, because then you have a little more control over this staircase if someone like tries to peek here. Yeah, this is good. Ooh, that was a close one. Your Hanzo is taking really good angles too. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Good watch. So here's like where I would recommend just like slapping down the Venom Mine like down here or something out of habit, or like up here. Just like somewhere. Just because it, like even if there aren't flankers, it's nice to just be playing it like there are. Because you just never know, like their Lucio could try and red it onto you or something. This is good. Watch the, yeah, watching her. And see, this is actually a moderately narrow angle now, because you know that the Widow is going to come from here, here, or here. And you are visible from here, which is the most likely angle. You're not visible from here, and you're not visible from here. So you're closing off all of the angles except for one that she could be coming back from. So like that's like the kind of smart plays that you want to be making on Widow. Unlucky. So see, she knew where you were, and then that's when the jump shot can come in handy. Because like the whole thing with the jump shot, yeah, it was a really good shot from her. Like the whole thing with the jump shot and the crouches and like the jump out from cover is it's yeah, you shouldn't technically lose it with sights up, but like the whole thing is that it's like there are ways of varying your movement when you both know where the other Widow is. And the jump shot is even more powerful if you don't know where the enemy Widow is, because it's like a super unexpected angle. So, but yeah, Widow duels can be really easily turned in favor of either player. So it's like a little tricky judging skill sometimes, because like at the top, you just have so many good Widow players that it's like, well, you could, like if you just get the drop on them, you could get the pick. Yeah, good watching the McCree. He's more dangerous and more exposed. I would not hold that angle so long. You see that their team is going in aggro here, and you can assume that their Widow is probably going to be like somewhere on this outer ring. I would be pretty aggressively moving into the reposition here, and then taking this narrow angle. Like really, like barely peeking it, and just kind of scouting that and holding it. Dangerous, man. Oh, yeah, so that's, I'm assuming, like a warm-up issue. You hear the Widow shot, I would, yeah, make sure you're looking at her. So I would really want you to take left side here. Because, like, if you take this angle, this is really strong. Because it's pretty narrow, you have, like, a lot of options, and you have this piece of cover narrowing the angle for you. Or you can go to here. Like, you have a lot of options for holding really thin angles and a lot of control. Or you can go up here, and you have the Mega over here. Like, you have a lot of cover. It's really powerful. You know they're going to be coming there. So, like, think about where you're going to be going. I think you, like, right now you're just kind of chilling on cart. I imagine you go on top of Cafe, maybe? Yeah, so like this is a really open angle, and look, see, there's their Venom Mine, man. That you don't have any flankers too. Their Venom Mine still got some value, and now she knows where you are for a bit. It's a good rotation. But now, remember, you're in the open. Don't go back up there, man. It's an open angle. Please do not go up there. This is dangerous. They're lucky that they're, where is their Widow? What is she doing? Their Widow is taking like a long rotation. But like, I really dislike this angle. Because like this is the angle where it's like, oh yeah, let me see everything. It's the high up. It's like Dorado point C sometimes when you're attacking and you have like that spot like to the left right as soon as you go out. And it's like, well, okay, you had a Sonic. Okay. So I respect that then, but like I still don't love it because you could go just like here and have the same value while also closing off this angle. And then looking specifically here. Or if you're here with your Hanzo, like your Hanzo's taking really good angles, so you don't really need to be with him. But like, really up here is where I'd want you probably. Or just here even. Or here, this is a better, like you always want cover where you can close your angle if needed, man. Like even if you don't know there's a threat, like even if you know there's no threat, I mean. It's good practice, and it's like in case you mistrack or miscalculate something, like this is a good angle. See, and yeah, as soon as you walk into open space, you're dead, so that's just how it jives. Fortunately, your team got him. But yeah, that was smart from their Widow to go out of the unexpected angle. But yeah, that's why you always want to close yourself off to one spot, because like for example, if you were here, it wouldn't matter if she came out here. Right? It wouldn't matter if she came out here. You're not under any threat, and you're already watching this door, so if she pokes here, you have the information advantage. She can't process that you are here faster than you can process that she is in the spot where you're literally looking. So, yeah, you didn't see her because you were kind of like, it was like, oh yeah, team fights one, I'm just going to go forward. But, like, that's like the power of narrowing your angles, is you have that information advantage. That was, see, beautiful. That's the power of the angles, man. That's what I like to see. Back out, back out. If you have Venom Mine there, you would have had the jump on him. It's like right here. The instant I go up here, slap down a Venom Mine right here. Or right here, right here. Just somewhere. Because you know that they're going to be pressuring you potentially. Like if it's a Lucio, redditing is probably the most likely thing, but they have dive tanks now too. So like, there's no reason not to, because even if you just vacate this angle before anyone pushes, that's still chip damage and information about someone potentially trying to flank you later. Take the one shot, get out, get out, get out. Like this is like, once you've been known and you have the value, yeah, you could have grappled left, that would have been smart, but you actually don't have your grapple yet. Because you used it to get up here, which is fine. I like using it to get up here. I like taking the shot, but then you need to recognize that you don't have your escape cooldown and then be escaping preemptively, regardless of if there's more value you could get. Like, that's like a very Sigma-ish kind of mindset of like, get my value, but then I need to preempt the rotation before the danger's actually there. Yeah, once again, man, it's all about the information. So like, you don't know their tanks are there, but you have to just assume, yeah, this is a greedy play. Venom Mine wouldn't have done much. It would have helped though by just getting a little more chip damage on him later. I will tell you this, Venom Mines are so obnoxious on Tracer. I play a lot of Tracer and I hate it so much. Okay. I like it. I like it when you win it. That's basically my policy. If you win the duel, I like the play. Yeah, this is good. I would take a more aggressive angle here now, maybe, but it's fine since their Widow had the respawn, so. Yeah, they have sights up, so I don't mind this. Playing safe. Nice. That was good. The baby diva. Oh no. Venom Mine, Venom Mine, Venom Mine. Okay, she never didn't even pursue you. See, this is a really good narrow angle. It's a little dicey just because of the payload there, but see, you got the Reaper pick you were looking for. Now you can go here. This is a wide angle now. You have to watch out for both doors. It's a little narrow because you have the right side blocking the Widow's right respawn, so that's fine. But you just have to always consider like how much I'm seeing, because that means how much they can see. Ooh, that was nice. Okay, and they're off Widow now, so that's fantastic. Watch that D.Va, man. She can burst you down fast. Yep, nope. Like, you saw her and you ignored her. You can't, like, go within the, that dive range. You always have to be aware of that.
Now you have my attention.
You guys have pretty good point progress here. So they're on Widow again. My guess is you probably just didn't see that they're on Widow again, so like just make sure you're always tabbing. That's something I always have to work on too. But like, that's kind of the advantage of like this angle. Like, it's a wide angle, but then the problem is because your team is almost definitely going to be walking here or here, it doesn't really matter. But like if you had like gone up here and just barely looked in here, that'd be free low. Like usually as Widow, I think I would want to start by going here and checking out what's up here and then vacating back. Like I'd just look here, place my Venom Mine as I walk in, take a shot or two if I see something. If not, I just vacate and I go to main. Because this is also a really nice closed off angle. Because you can like peek the top of the truck a little bit and it's a little less expected. Yeah, like you want to make sure that she doesn't know where you're going to peek from basically. And if you're going into an area that you can predict that she would be looking, you want to just grapple across it. But yeah, it was a good shot from her and a good prediction. Your team has one fight left, basically.
30 seconds remaining.
We're running out of time.
So see, I like this, but make sure you're not doing anything until your team is going in here. Because if you blow your cover early, that's really dangerous. Yeah, so your Lucio kind of blew your cover a little bit. Your team is close enough to doing stuff, so I don't mind. I would take the duel here. Whew.
10 seconds remaining.
Nice. Good stuff. Venom Mine would have helped. Would get a little more chip on him. Pow. I would just pop in for sight, yeah, because there's no reason not to. I would take a more aggressive angle here because their Widow is dead. You know that because you just dealt with her yourself. I think you have grappling still, right? It's back up. Yeah, it's back up. And you know that you have a little bit of respawn time. I would grapple up here because like you could just watch this door for her respawn while also like in the corner of your eye while also trying to like you'd have a better chance of getting picks from up here, like because right now your sightline is kind of blocked by the cart. It's like it's a fairly aggressive angle, the one that I'm suggesting, but I think it would give you more opportunities and less visual clutter. See, and then you would have been on even height with her too, so you'd be more likely to land that shot. I think your team just wins this though. I don't mind staying in main either. I think it's a fine angle. It's just a little more conservative than I feel is necessary. But I like that you're keeping the right spawn closed and focusing on the left one. And I like that you're keeping your distance from the dive tanks. Nice.
No one can hide
Yep, pop it.
from my sight.
Ooh, unlucky. Nice, yeah. I would slap down Venom Mine like on the corner still. Like, well, like just because just in case they have a ball or something who could come and boop you out. Like, there's no reason not to again. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, you're doing the perfect stuff here. It's just clean up. Biggest mistake that DPS can make during like scrappy fights like that is try and like hog up on point. Like that's just such a bad idea. Gotta play the patient game, and you did, so that was good.
Ready for battle.
Echo.
Ready for
Nice. Echo's one of my main DPS, so I like that. Your comp is basically entirely Brawl with some poke features with the on you. So basically you're just going to look for angles that complement where your Brawl team is trying to play. Respect the Widow, again. Look to dive her from angles that she doesn't expect. Pressure her out occasionally. Don't try and ego duel her. And then, yeah, true. But she was on Widow and Tracer the whole time, so I would assume that she's probably on a hit skin. Okay, after copy.
Boosting up. Hi. Hi.
So, is this a scrim for a team? Out of curiosity, because I noticed the timer up top. Nice, nice. What rank is the scrim? Like diamondish or something? I don't love the spawn mines and then standing here because like don't even take shots there, just use your mines and get out. 2.53k, okay. Yeah, I would guess by the Widow aim that you guys are both like diamondish, so. But like so many people get really greedy with starting positions, like if you're on like the front high ground on Blizzard World defense, or if you're on like that spot there, or like just like anywhere where you should just be falling back right away. Yeah, there's no way she's not diamond with that kind of aim, I would say, and with some pretty smart angles. But yeah, like just make sure that you're like, once again, like it's the same concepts for DPS as you're trying to close off angles while getting the ones of your own. I don't mind this. You're playing really conservatively though. Okay, yeah, you are going through here. This is what I was just gonna say I would like to see. Beautiful, yeah, and then you get checker. That's fine. But now you know that she's probably she might push through there now too when she sees you're not there anymore. See, it looks like their soldier, it wasn't the Widow, but their soldier ran in after. So you could have actually kind of just chilled here and then hit him and held that off angle. Because like you're peeling back onto their dive, but it's like, well, realistically, how much are you going to do to the dive? What's more valuable? Going around here, fragging their Widow and checking their Ana so that they don't get heals, or just blasting their tanks that are like designed to soak your damage? Like they are equipped to negate and reduce your pressure, so you should put pressure where they cannot negate it, aka on the DPS, on the healers. Lucio is pretty equipped to negate pressure on himself because of boop and self heals. So yeah, I mean basically, yeah, they're not like your Ana is in a smart position. She's enough back from their main. Like they're not realistically going to be able to muscle their way past the tank line to get to them. It's like, yeah, it wasn't even necessary here. And now you're on a wide angle again. So like you can't cross here very easily now without being in danger. So really you've restricted your angle option to just right here now, which is fine too. But you have to remember, of course, where you've been isolated. Yeah, like your Reaper even somehow gets the pick on the Widow. I don't even know how that happened. As soon as... sure. I don't mind it when you see them specifically on the support and without the team backup, and when they're low, which their tanks were already kind of low. I don't mind it. Because, like, it's a realistic kill then. Like, you're looking for realistic kills and pressure that they can't negate. And like you can reduce pressure through HP, through abilities, resources, healing, etc. If their tanks are going out of healing range, low health resource, low cooldowns resource presumably, you can pretty safely go out of it because you know that they cannot stop your pressure very much. Yep, this is fine. Just clean up for your team.
Executing flight maneuvers.
Think about what angle you're taking. You're playing too wide, man. Too wide, too greedy. You cannot do that. Like, would you jump down here as Widow? That is dangerous, man. You're holding their angle. Like, spam, you want them to walk into your angles. You don't want to play into their angles. Yeah, it was a feed play. Like, you gotta have that ingrained patience. It doesn't matter if you know where she would go. It's just a matter of playing smart yourself. Like, you don't need to know where she's gonna go to know that this angle is exposed to main, to here, to here, to here, to here, and that you don't need this space. Your team isn't gonna permanently hold at this corner, and even if they are, you would rather take an angle then on where the point is gonna engage, right? Because if they're gonna fight it out right here, you can be right here and shoot the enemy team, the same as if you're right here, while also being in less danger and exposed to less angles. Like, this is a narrower angle, because you're closing off that whole front area, and now they're gonna be here, here, or maybe here, and you have all of them in your sight from here. And you can close it off with this cover. So you always need to be thinking about that. It doesn't matter about knowing where they're gonna be necessarily for just default positioning, just for dueling mostly. I'd go from bottom left, bottom right for recontest. Oh, they have sights. That's unlucky. You can. I would have committed in, I think, and copied D.Va there, because your team had the advantage, and I think you're within copy range of the D.Va. Let's see. Yeah, so you get copy up. So first of all, I like going bottom because it's really closed off as an angle. Like, there's only like one angle that gets a sightline on that door, and it's like right here, and then sometimes right here. But this is an open angle that not many people will take. So, like, I like this spot because it's very it's very protected. And even if this is here, you're only exposed for a moment. You can actually pretty easily just fly past here and up to here, and then poke from here. This is not a really good angle. But yeah, I would have just copied D.Va right here, and then gone in with your team. And you know that the soldier is looking at you. You can't really peek this angle again safely. It's like I would even just drop back and go around to the bottom here if I need to, or go like higher up. But like you cannot peek it at the same height. Like you almost got him even, but then you like it's not like can you reasonably expect to get the kill in that duel? Not really. Because he has his heals. You're out of range. Echo doesn't have reliable burst at a range because you have to land all the stickies. And the beam is not, like, you're not in range to use it. You can't close that distance. So it's like, well, don't take duels that you can't reasonably expect to win.
Executing flight maneuvers. Adaptive circuits engaged.
It's fine. It wasn't a very good copy, but the reason I say that is because, like, think about, like, if you were the Winston, can you close that distance? And it's like, yeah, you can. But then, I think instead of dropping here after the soldier, I would have bubbled and just gone for this Ana that's literally right behind you. Like, it's not a bad copy, it's just executed in an iffy manner. Because you're not looking for, like, a target with it, really. You're like, okay, I'll get the nanode soldier, but it's like, well, what are you gonna kill? Like, are you gonna kill a nanode soldier while he's getting healed? And yeah, I get that you're trying to zone in and tank the nano visor, but it's like, I guess your team... No, your team is still on Rhine, and your Rhine is still alive. So it's like, well, how endangered really is your team by this nano visor? You have a diva up top eating it. Your squishies are back with your Ryan. Ryan has a lot of ability to negate frontline pressure. It was noble and valiant, and it's not, I'm not gonna say it was wrong, but it just wasn't like the highest value play. And you placed down your bubble a little too late, so he's inside it. If you had just placed it down midair and let it fall while you were falling too, like that's like a really monkey micro thing. But yeah, I would have rather you just went on the Ana, because like your Reaper got him anyways, but it would have kept you alive a little longer to get to the primal. Iffy positioning, but you're driven to it by the bomb, so that's kind of whatever. I mean, that's what happens in the scrappy fight. So now you're on the Widow again. Start setting up your angle. You know the fight is lost. Why? It's not too wide, but I don't love it. It's okay though. You know the Widow is there now. Unlucky grapple mess up. Okay, well, so with that, I think you need to be respecting their tanks a little more there. Because, like, this is all fine until, like, you know that their diva is up there. You need to be looking at her more. And then as soon as you hear their monkey coming in, or, well, no, that was really just, yeah, that was really basically just the unlucky grapple. Because, like, you didn't have your cooldown because of it, and you would have been out of the dive range if you had been up there, I think. I would like if you take the far right angle here. Open angle. See, hey, that's what happens when they don't know where you are and they don't go for that goofy jump shot. Wait, where is that? Kind of conservative, but it's fine. Yeah, focus on the big threat. You can win this. Nice. Beautiful. Yeah, teabag it. You deserve it. Before? Was it like right before the monkey dives here? Nice. So we saw this. So, real quick though, I want to like kind of move over here just to show the angle that you could have. If you had moved to here, like you were here, you could grapple over and then do the jump thing, and you jockey to right here. There's two squishies here behind their bubble. Like you had, you have a lot more options I think with the angles than you're thinking. And while this is a fine angle, I want to make sure that you're like thinking about the options basically, because you're always gonna have the left side and the right side. But yeah, this was beautiful shots on the monkey. Start setting up. Know that Widow's here. Expect her to come from a side and ready yourself. Watch one of the sides, narrow the angle. Good counter ult. Good waves. You know their monkey is gonna dive you, man. You need to start vacating that. Like that is, like you saw that their monkey is going there. I know you felt frozen by the Widow, but it's very hard to shoot a Widow mid-grapple. Like note that even when you're doing like these grapple shots, you get headshotted at the peak of it or near the peak of it or when you're falling. during the grapple up, that's like a very, very, very hard shot. So you need to be like on that and respecting them. Like right about...
No one can hide from my sight. Bonjour.
right here. This is when you know that they're about to dive you. And then that's when you need to grapple to right here. Close the angle, get to safety, get out of dive range.
Hello.
Yeah, respect her. You can't push into that. I would say just give up the point. Yeah. I don't mind this, waiting for the Widow. See, there's a good jump shot. Nice. Be more aware of their tank line, man. That's a threat that you can't ignore. Like, you need to also be aware of these tanks and stuff that's, like, besides the Widow duel, too. Like, it's like you have to be processing both at the same time. Because you kind of get low and chased around and hemmed in by that. And if you had been kind of preempting it a little more, I think you probably could have avoided that situation. Nice. Go for Soldier. This is a good closed angle. Oh, unlucky. Yeah, they just caught you at a bad time in the shot reload or whatever. And also the same situation of holding the angle for too long. It's like, you're doing pops off. That's nice. This is a good angle. Nice.
Now I feel alive. My ultimate is ready. Get into position.
I like you watching this.
No one.
Yeah, that's a good Venom mine. Well, it's not perfect. I would have liked it on the wall. Still, like, you using it at least, and that's how you're supposed to use it. I want you really, like, thinking about what you're doing with this, because they're not going to be pushing into you. I don't want you pushing into them. Like, give them the respect. Nice. See, this is the power of the closed, narrow angle. You're under no threat from their Widow, and you get 2 free picks. Beautiful. That's, like, what I love to see from Widow. This is dangerous. Their threat is not done, and now she knows where you are. And now you're locked down and within dive range. Did you need to go aggro here? Not really. You know that they have to come to the cart for overtime. You could just, like, move further back and go all the way back here, and this is almost even better. Like, yeah, you'd be bubbled, but that's fine, because, like, this is just, it feels greedy, see, and then you're gonna die to the monkey here because of it. Fortunately, looks like your team brawls that wins the brawl because they're playing, the enemy team is playing dive into your brawl and is gonna lose. So yeah, my feedback would mostly be, yeah, but even on the high ground, it's like you don't, yeah, it was a Reddit play, like, because you don't need to go up to that high ground. Like, you need to know when you need the value versus, like, because there's the never wrong play, there's the feeding play, and there's the carry play. The feeding play and the carry play are the same thing, but it's a question of if it works. It would have been a carry play if you grappled up to the high ground and headshotted 3 more people, but it's also not necessary here. Like, you need to know when you need that carry play, because if it doesn't work, it's a feeding play. So, like, the never wrong play is always going to be the safe one. I would have rather you just take the never wrong play, because your team is in an advantage, and when your team has the advantage, you don't need a carry play. You just need to not feed. So basically, I would say focus on, first of all, just integrating the Venom mine into your play more. Even if that wasn't like a major thing this VOD, it's something I really want to see you do more. Think about the information battle and what information you have, and like don't watch those grapple shots, man. Like, those grapple shots are like, do not grapple shot blind. And be thinking about where the Widow is and those threats at all times. Be thinking about your positioning as the third thing in proportion to the enemy threats, like in terms of enemy threats that can close the distance. And I think those are probably my main things. Any questions? I didn't have it be very interactive this time. It was a lot of just me spouting information and critiquing and stuff like coaching, but it's because I want to keep it a little shorter. Yep, I got you. Thanks for coming. I'm gonna go and turn off the stream, I guess.